Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be showing you 3 separate LEGO City sets that are vehicle focused and came out for early 2020. The first one we're going to look at is simply called Monster Truck. It comes with a monster truck and a driver, and that's it. Small box, small number of pieces. Monster trucks never seem to really go out of style, so I think it's a good idea for LEGO to continue to make these just basic small monster trucks in the city line. And this one is quite unique with its color scheme and its printed hood piece. Now that is basically also typically used as a roof piece, but look at that. That is a nice print. Kind of looks like a dragon to me, but use your imagination. You can probably see it as a number of different types of mythical creatures, so it's supposed to be literally a monster truck. Now those tooth pieces are bright spring green, and it does not glow in the dark, I'm afraid. And that's just always the way that is for that color. I always get asked about that though. And that color is also used for the kind of tooth-like elements back around the bed. This does not have working suspension or anything like that. The tires are rather large though, and somewhat squishy. So, you can, also there's some ground clearance under there properly. Not a ton of it, but enough to actually drive this over some rough terrain and not be getting caught on things all the time. The simple things matter. Got a bed back there where you can sit at least one additional minifigure if you want to have them hanging on for dear life, maybe with their arms up in the air, or just, enjoying the ride also as a passenger. And to get to the interior here, all this just lifts off as normal. There's space for a driver inside, and there's a steering wheel. And that's really just it for this one. Did I show you the underside? Nothing much to see there. No specialized chassis piece though. So this is, a proper build. Here's a driver figure up close. I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't put any particular branding on the torso there. Like it doesn't have any sponsorship, doesn't have a number, doesn't really tie into the monster theme in particular either. But that's a good thing also, because it makes it a little bit more useful for other things if you don't want them to just be driving that specific vehicle. I think it works with it. I don't know if that's supposed to represent like flame or fur or both, something like mystical flame or something, but it works for me. And yeah, I think it's pretty effective. I also appreciate the contrast. It doesn't just use the colors from the truck, yet it does kind of synergize with those colors with the monster theme. Set gives you a whole 3 spare parts, so those exist. Considering price and value and my overall thoughts on this set, well, it's a 55-piece set for $10. So the price to part ratio does not look good, but the price to volume of stuff ratio I think is fine. And I think that LEGO needs to make as many $10 sets as they reasonably can that are playable, usable, displayable, whatever. It's a full set, it's a complete set. It is successful in what it sets out to be and do. Like I said, I hope they will continue to do more of these monster trucks as long as they sell decently well. I think they're a good idea. Generally, this is a good basic design with the large tires. They're fairly bouncy, fairly simple build, but it's nice to get that one extra fancy big print there. So this one gets a thumbs up from me overall. I'm going to roll right into the next set. This is the Stunt Team set. Comes with a motorcycle, quad ATV, and a ramp. But not just any ramp. No, a flaming ramp. At least flaming off the back. So this is another really simple set, so we can get through this fairly quickly. Don't want to waste too much of your valuable time here. This one has the modern version of a superbike cowl, the body part of it. And that's nothing new in terms of its mold, but the color is new in dark green, and that is printed. That is a specialized print that they made just for this set, printed on either side with the lightning graphics that look pretty cool, and it's got the lime green colored wheels, so that works out pretty well. We will take a closer look at the rider, of course. The quad ATV has dark azure colored wheels. It has a print on the front for that 1x2 cheese slope piece with the Vita Rush brand that LEGO came up with. It's just a citrus-based energy drink, I'm assuming. Maybe vitamin drink. And this is a really simple build. You can see most of the chassis is a 2x6 brick in dark gray. But it's not that bad, in my opinion. Like, I've seen worse ATVs, to be sure, with more parts, like more complex than this. So this works out okay. It's got street wheels on it, you know, so it's not trying to look like it's fully off-road capable and ready, but like any kid is going to care about that? I don't think so. It rolls just fine because there is enough diameter on these wheels. They're not tiny ones, so it makes it fun enough to actually drive around and maybe go up a ramp or something like this. This ramp, unfortunately, does not have anything to give it some traction on the underside. And sometimes they do ramps, they put rubber pieces on there with tires or something. So if you're on a hard surface, then this will try to get away from you. Just something to keep in mind. Very simple build here, but it's nice that they included all those black parts that are very useful, and you can kind of fan out the flame pieces like that to make it look a little more dynamic, or you can make them random or just line them up, you know, whatever you want to do there. These figures don't really look like they belong together on a stunt team. I mean, the motorcycle rider on the left there is just like a regular dude. You know, he's not, I mean, I guess the stunt team involves folks that just do stuff on the street as well. They're not supposed to. I'm just saying, you know, he's just a regular dude. But I do wish that, given the fact that dude on the left is just a regular dude, he had been given a hairpiece as an alternate part, you know, so you could take off that helmet and just use them around town. The figure on the right, I think, looks great. The colors are just so bright and vibrant. I also very much appreciate that motocross style helmet, and you can leave off the goggle portion of that if you want to. And underneath there is what that face looks like. Kind of similar to mine in a way, my sig fig version, but with the slight break between the sideburns and the beard, such as they are. And no alternate faces for either of these, but again, really good printing for the one on the right. Just so bright and lively and positive. Aha! A whole 5 spare parts with this set. Still nothing to write home about, huh? Oh look, it's another $10 set. This one has 62 pieces, so once again, the price to part ratio does not look great, but once again, I think that the price to volume of stuff and just total value that you get here is pretty respectable. Yeah, can't really complain about that. I mean, $10 to have 2 things that can race against each other or be posed around a Lego city or something like that. I think it's good. And again, to use no stickers, that's always a bonus. The prints that are included here are both nice. You get some nice colored parts. I particularly like the torso for this figure. This one just doesn't feel like it fits into the theme. It's a perfectly fine figure, but it just seems like somebody who would just be normal around a city, not like a member of a stunt team, you know. So that's a little bit awkward to me for whatever reason. Take that with a grain of salt. This actually has less play value than I would like it to, because it does move out of the way so easily when it's on a hard surface. I'm not the only person in the world who has a hard table surface or a hard surface where Lego stuff will be placed and potentially rolled around. So it's not just me on that, and I do think that Lego needs to consider things like that, even for something this simple. They've considered it in the past. Maybe some of the parts budget that was used for the flames here could have been used to create rubber anchors for this, using just small tires on wheels, you know, or those Technic pieces that accept 2 axles going through them, something like that, just to make this a little bit more fun to use rather than having to pick up the vehicle and actually, you know, pretend like it's going over there. You want to be able to drive right up to it and just do like that. It's so much more fun. The biggest set in this video is simply called Racing Cars. Not particularly clever, is it? Comes with 2 cars, 2 drivers, and 2 pylons. The pylons are 2 pieces each, so that's what one of them looks like. The other one is the same. We can move on. This car looks so much like just a modern day touring car from a series like British Touring Car Championship or World Touring Car Championship. It's like a hatchback, you know, very modern, very proper design, proper proportions, pretty much, I'd say, for something that's for just a single minifigure, with the exception of that big thing on the hood. Big old engine part that's sticking out, that's representing an intake and possibly a blower underneath it or something like that. Good thing is it's Lego, of course, so if you despise the existence of that part, you can always just leave it off. That's not a terrible look, though. It would be better, I think, if you put a tile piece on there. And no, I didn't push that down all the way, but it just gives you an idea. I want to be able to pop that right back off right now so we can focus on how this set is actually built. It does have just a few stickers on there. What is it? 4 stickers in total. And I recommend lining up the ones on the left, or on the sides, I should say, left and right. If you can, just line up with the black piece back behind there. But overall, I like the color scheme for this thing. Comes with the golden wheels, which to me just feel kind of special, little extra in a good way. And around the back, this has very large exhaust outlets that are probably a little overdone. But I like the inclusion of the nice detail of the diffuser space underneath. That's pretty cool. I mean, with it being white, it's not the most believable thing, but I appreciate the texture that's there. I also appreciate how the wing is attached. You can bring that in nice and close, and then it kind of goes well with what appears to be like a lid spoiler or roofline spoiler right there. All that kind of just goes together, and you just imagine the aerodynamics working together. I also like what they did on the front, just to get that shape in there with the slightly squared off fender piece. And yet, the building techniques for this are very simple, very straightforward, easy for kids to put together, I would say. And then inside, you take the roof off and you just have space for a single driver, and there's a centered steering wheel. That's pretty much it for this one. And this is built on a specialized chassis piece, which is a pretty cool piece. I like the proportions of that. They do give you some options, but just for the most part, I like the sizes of cars that come out of using that as the base piece. The other car definitely does not look like it's intended to race against the first one, unless it's a multi-class racing series. They wouldn't be going up against each other directly, but they may be on track at the same time. This looks pretty nice, and for how simple it is as a build, I think it turned out pretty well. This, once again, uses that same chassis piece, and again, I'm happy with the proportions as they turned out. I think that the aero work on this was done pretty well. It has some things that appear to be gaps that actually can be explained away in real life, like the gap behind the front fenders can be just seen as an air extractor. It kind of makes sense. It would actually work. Got a shark fin on the back of it, and these end plates are pretty nice where they put additional stickers back there. Overall, a pretty good looking thing. Got the indicator light on the back as well. The branding is Octane E, which I'm assuming is supposed to be representing the promotion of electric vehicles. So either this is intended to be an electric vehicle, or it's at least a strong hybrid that is attempting to promote so-called clean energy initiatives. See, this looks pretty good from down low as well, and I like what they did on the front end with this one. Again, it's pretty simple. They used that specialized spoiler or wing piece to good effect. It's buried in there a little bit, but gives a nice little front end to this. What I like least about this is just that little bit, that little sliver of the blue there, the dark azure that shows up on either side. Just breaks things up in an odd way. Again, I'm okay with the gaps on the sides here. I can imagine those being intended in real life, and I'm okay with the shaping in here as well. I just wish that the interior could have been just all yellow all throughout there. And then for this one, you can take off the windscreen and the roof together. Once again, seating for one, plenty of space, plenty of headroom, and got that centered steering wheel. And there's what it looks like on the underside. It's pretty sturdy, even though some parts of it are a little bit thin in their builds, and it uses that same chassis piece again. The worst part of this, durability-wise, for folks that are going to be really hands-on with it, is just right here. These pieces, if you push on them a little bit too much, you can see the front started to pop up a little bit. It just kind of gets out of line, but it's difficult to pop that up unless you accidentally get underneath and really pull it apart. And that's just going a little bit too far. It is Lego, so it can come apart, but ultimately, I think the build here is fairly solid. I like the torsos for both of these figures. The graphic design work is fairly simple, but it works for me. I like the color combinations and the relative amounts of them. I also very much appreciate the return of the S on the front of the one on the left, which is just a nice nod back to, when did that even start? It was like, I want to say mid to early 90s, if not even before. Some sporty uniforms for some figures had the S on them. And here it's showing that it just represents sport. These do not have alternate faces, but I do want you to see their main faces there. And they're pretty straightforward as well. And finally, here are the spare parts for this set and the spent sticker sheet, which covers both cars. This set is pretty cool. I like both of the vehicles. I like both of the driver figures. You know, they're distinct. I do wish that this set came with that one single 2x2 red tile to allow the change here. You know, just would have been nice for folks who want a little bit more realism or a little bit more of a modern look. My problem with this set is that, well, how many pieces do we get here? 190 pieces? Okay. But the set costs $30 US. Okay. Price to part ratio, we've already established, is not always the end-all be-all to value. But when I look at the volume of stuff here, that doesn't look like $30 worth of stuff. I feel like this could have been... they've shown recently enough that that could have been a $10 set. They've shown recently enough that without issue, that could have been a $10 set. And then this could have been a $10 set. And as a matter of fact, when you look at the non-US prices, it's showing that this could have been a 10 plus 10 equals $20 US set. So why did they price it at 30? Well, there's the whole thing about them increasing the suggested retail prices and also the official Lego store prices for a number of sets on an increasingly frequent basis to help appease and help the businesses, really, of retail partners. So, you know, non-Lego retailers, by allowing them to set prices where they want, allowing them to discount things. And a lot of sets have worked out just fine with that, with Amazon, Target, Walmart, whatever, putting discounts on sets as soon as they're released. Not this time, though. Nope. This set is being sold at $30 everywhere, at least that I've seen. All the major retailers that I've seen. So that didn't work, and I don't think this set is worth $30. Sucks, but I can't recommend it at that price. It's just not worth that. I mean, $25 would be a stretch, I really think. Like $10, and sticker sheet. The sticker sheet's okay, but it's not great, you know? But even at that, I mean, that's really a stretch. Should be 20. I could see it being 25. And then immediately put up for sale at least 5% off, you know, 10% off. Yeah, 10% off would be great. But 30, sorry, just doesn't work for me. So that's it for my look at the last one of these. And I have built all the sets that you've seen in this video in a single pure build video, which is in real time. I've also done the same thing again. I didn't rebuild them or anything. I just re-rendered the video at a different speed for the speed build for the more traditional time-lapse style. So check out one of those if you would like to. Thank you for watching. Hope that you enjoyed this. Hope this was informative, useful, entertaining to you in some way, and I'll talk to you again very soon.